This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Peninsula Regional Medical Center.
Apolo Anton Ohno. He's an 8-time Olympic medalist speed skater. He's a Dancing with the Stars winner, and for the first time ever, he's revealing his story of living with exercise-induced bronchospasm. More than 30 million people live with the respiratory condition known as EIB. The thing is, many of them don't even know they have it. Joining us right now to tell his story and to help educate us is the famous American Winter Olympian, Apolo Anton Ohno. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
First of all, we must ask you how it feels to be one of America's most beloved and famous Winter Olympians of all time, and also give us some of your most memorable moments that you experienced at each of the Winter Olympics in which you competed.
Yeah, so many memorable moments. I've been very blessed to have such an incredible career and so many supporters. I was very lucky to be able to be in the position that I was in and have the right people around me to push me so I could reach my full potential from day one. But it was not easy. It definitely took a lot of work, and it's been an amazing ride, absolutely.
Now, as we mentioned, you were one of the seasons of Dancing with the Stars, and recently were invited to compete in the All-Star edition. Tell us about that.
Wow, the All-Star edition was, the All-Stars this past year they were tough. They were much more difficult than I think anyone had originally anticipated, but I did my best. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and I think we had some incredible performances out there. So I had a good time. All
right. Now, as we also mentioned, you are officially here to reveal that you do have EIB, or exercise-induced bronchospasm. Can you just explain to us what that is?
Sure. EIB, exercise-induced bronchospasm, is a narrowing of the airways during exercise. And there's an estimated 30 million Americans who suffer from this daily. I have EIB. It's impacted my life officially since the year 2000, actually, in which I was diagnosed, and we started to utilize a protocol. And then from there, my performances were what they always actually should have been, and I reached my full potential as an athlete. I never would have been able to achieve all my goals and aspirations in the Olympic space had it not been for the proper diagnosis. And I mean, my symptoms were actually pretty severe. Mine were coughing, tightness of chest, wheezing, and significantly decreased strength endurance.
And that's how you knew something was wrong? Is that how you
initially knew? I didn't know
I
actually had it. And I think a lot of the millions of Americans who also suffer from this, they might not even know they have it either. It wasn't until I actually was tested. I thought it was a natural byproduct of just being tired and just working hard and being on the ice and being in the cold air, but that necessarily was not the case. And my lung capacity was greatly restricted. I wasn't able to recover properly. I wasn't able to give my full potential of my performance every single time I stepped on the ice. And when we started to utilize the right type protocol, that's when I noticed a big difference. And that's why this is so important to me. And that's why we created this campaign, this contest around EIB All-Stars, and pushing people to go to EIBallstars.com to become more educated, to raise awareness about it, and to share with us their stories. And we want to pick a winner from those stories and bring them to Los Angeles, spend the day with me, and talk about EIB, talk about the other issues that they're having, and how they've been able to tackle this thing head on and not let it inhibit their hopes and dreams like I have.
All right. Well, what can we expect from you in the future now?
You can expect a lot from me in the future. I'm never one to rest. I've always been working very hard. I have a lot of different projects I'm working on, but this is one that is very close to me. I'm very passionate about.
What about another shot at the Olympics?
Well, in Sochi, Russia, I'll definitely be in Sochi, Russia. You'll see me there. So I don't know to what capacity, but I'll be there either way.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Apolo Anton Ohno.
Thank you, Lisa.
And good luck. And if you'd like more information about the contest Apolo just mentioned, just go to our website, delmarvalife.com, and click on the Show tab. Now let's head over to Jimmy to learn more about EIB.
Well, as you heard, EIB is something that you can't live with, and in Apolo's case, it is possible to even be an Olympic athlete. But is that the norm for people with this kind of a respiratory disease? And what about kids who spend a lot of time outside playing during these colder months? Well, joining us today to help answer those questions are John Morcom. John is the director of PRMC's Respiratory Care Program, and Dr. Heather Collins, who is a pediatrician at PRMC. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
We're learning a lot about EIB. John, tell me first off, what is it that somebody will feel? What will they experience when it comes to EIB?
Yeah, as Apollo's indicated in his interview, a bronchospasm occurs when the muscles that surround your airways tighten and restrict airflow. Someone with EIB may feel their chest get tight, hear themselves wheeze, cough, have a reduced physical ability, have increased fatigue, and all that is, the majority of that is a result of being short of breath.
So now, this typically happens in winter, but it can happen anytime, right?
Correct. The bronchospasms themselves are generally a result of increased airflow, and when that air is cold and dry, it increases the effects of the bronchospasms.
You know, Zachary had it when he was growing up, and I guess it happens with kids a lot. How often does this kind of thing happen with kids, Heather?
Well, in the general population, there are about 8 to 20% of individuals who are affected at some level with a bronchospasm induced by exercise. And for children, the amount of children affected are probably in the same range.
Oh, okay.
And with the high prevalence of asthma in the pediatric community, about 80% of asthmatics will have exercise as a trigger for their symptoms as well.
Okay. Was there something we can do for our kids in these colder months?
Common sense types of precautions, because as John mentioned, cold air can be a trigger to induce the tightening of the airways. So keeping a scarf around the mouth or just trying to limit the exposure of cold air to the airways is one common sense type of precaution one could take.
Is there a treatment for it that we can?
The mainstay of treatment is using a rescue inhaler, and I think we may have some around, but it's a puffer or a rescue inhaler, and you take 2 puffs prior to exercising, and that will help to prevent the symptoms during exercise.
Okay, so let's say it's left untreated. Are we talking any long-term damage here?
Well, with exercise-induced bronchospasm, we can look to some of the long-term effects of untreated asthma. The continual motion of the bronchoconstriction or tightening of the airways over and over again, as what happens in asthma exacerbations or attacks, can lead to some changes in the cells that line the airways in a process we call remodeling, leading to less flexibility of those airways and actually more severe attacks. So the most important thing is just to prevention. If they have spasm, 2 puffs prior to exercising.
Is this something kids will grow out of?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Possibly. A lot of children with asthma, as they get older, they have attacks less and less frequently.
Right.
So as people get older, it may be less common. However, I think that people are still at risk for a spasm, possibly when they're older, but maybe less frequently.
All righty, Heather, John, thank you so much for coming in with this information. I learned a lot out of this, so thank you for your time this afternoon. Well, if you missed any of the information, or you would simply like to learn more about EIB and PRMC services, all you have to do is log on to our website and click on the Show tab. Well, still to come on Delmarva Life, they're young and educated, but finding a job is harder than ever for college grads.
Most of my friends it's taken them at least 6 months to get a job, or they have to move out of the country to get a job. We're
going to try to help you if you're looking for work. Could the solution be as simple as hanging out with the right people? Plus, the job market's also tough for those who are older and unemployed. We've got some job-seeking tips for you as well. And you know, we've got a place where they want to start. The Jobs Guide tab. You'll find that on DelmarvaLife.com. It's just one of the many useful tools we try to provide for you. Go to DelmarvaLife.com. Click on the orange Jobs Guide tab. It's right there at the top right side of the page. It's one-stop shopping for both job seekers as well as employers. Real-time matching, you'll know which position and potential employee best fits your needs. The Jobs Guide on DelmarvaLife.com is just another way that we're keeping people and businesses connected here on Delmarva. Delmarva Life will be right back.